Alright, how's it going everybody? It's Chroma, and today I'm bringing you a chill, unscripted commentary video. I want to try to splice these kinds of unscripted commentary videos in between the video essays I make, break up some of that seriousness a little bit, and make some videos that are a little bit more conversational and casual in between some of those more serious video essays. Today I'm playing Knight's Try, which is the footage you're seeing in the background, obviously. It's a pretty fun game. I've had some fun with it. I got it a couple weeks ago. It's a really fucking hard game, though. I will say that. Just to get into the point of the video now, I guess. A little bit about me. I'm in my early 20s. I'm a college student. I'm from California. I'm an American. And living out here in California, you know, I've experienced a lot of the issues that our country faces directly. You know, not to get too much into anecdotal experience, you know, or stories or anything of that sort. You know, I maybe I'll save that for a later video, but, you know, I've just seen some horrible shit living here in California. You know, I've seen coworkers attacked. I've seen, you know, homeless people smoking heroin. You know, I walk outside and I don't even recognize where I grew up anymore. I don't even recognize my hometown. Streets smell like piss. You know, there's homeless people smoking heroin, like I said. People are walking around and they're not even from our country. And it's very alienating, frankly. And, you know, I think that's played I would say a substantial role in some of the views I have today, seeing all of this unfold firsthand. And, you know, some might say it's hateful to complain about, you know, people being around you who don't speak English, who don't look like you. You know, I don't see it that way. I think it's a pretty normal instinct to want to be surrounded by your own, to want to be surrounded by people who don't have any dual loyalties, who love your country and are devoted to your country alone, who speak your language, who look similar to you. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be, you know, or that you should be hateful to people who are unlike you. That's not what I mean. But to see it happen so rapidly, right? To see yourself feel like a foreigner in your own home, it's a very saddening feeling. And this is something that a lot of people across the country are dealing with and facing, unfortunately. Obviously, I'm also very interested in politics, philosophy, political thinkers and their ideas, you know, scripture. I am a Christian. And a little bit about my political journey. I would say what really radicalized me was, what radicalized a lot of people was 2020. During COVID, I was, you know, out skateboarding with my friends. You know, and the riots were going on. I remember the BLM riots, that is, for good old George Floyd, the fentanyl addict, or I should say the guy who overdosed on fentanyl and used counterfeit money. But, you know, I remember being a kid and COVID was going on and we were being, I shouldn't say a kid, I was probably in my late teens. And I remember, you know, being told that we had to wear masks in stores, even masks outside at the park, you know, just while skateboarding around. Meanwhile, you know, people were burning down cities, you know, in the masses gathered together by the thousands. You know, many of them not even wearing the stupid ass retarded mask. But, you know, that wasn't a problem. And I remember being out with my friends one night, and it was a night where there was a curfew. I think it was at 8 p.m., of course. And, you know, it's just memories like that I have that really resonate with me now as a key turning point in my political thinking and in my ideas. You know, I'm obviously a pretty right-wing guy, to say the least. I'm sure that's probably obvious by now if you've, you know, listened to this video so far, or if you've watched my previous video. You know, I wouldn't call myself a conservative necessarily. I take a lot of issues with conservatism as an ideology and as a term. I would refer to myself as something further to the right of that term. I would say I'm a reactionary. But I think a more normal term that appears a lot in the media now, or at least it first appeared as a pejorative, but now it's kind of been reclaimed by those on the right as a Christian nationalist. You know, I love God, and I love America, I love my country, and I want what's best for it, and I want the decay of it, the destruction of it that I'm witnessing right now, everything I mentioned about living here in California, and everything that's, all of that's also pretty played out in the statistics as well. I want to combat all that, and I want to, I've sort of created this channel to amplify my voice and call attention to a lot of these things through, commenting on them, on current events, on current issues, on the ongoing crisis that we really face in America, but also the Western world as a whole, through, analyzing political philosophers, thinkers, their ideas, the Bible, current events, and sort of, weaving them together at times as well. And my goal with this channel is to just reach anybody out there who might be interested in it, who might feel the same way that I feel, who, is being told that they're crazy for feeling this way. And, I guess that sort of feeling isn't as prevalent anymore, as, some of the ideas of people on my side are growing more and more by the day. And I've been happy about that, but still, it can't hurt to have any more people speaking out about it. We need less people on the sidelines. I wouldn't say that I was on the sidelines prior to creating this channel. I did write articles and things like that, and I still will keep doing so, I believe. I do so under a different name, but I just wasn't getting the kind of reach that I wanted with that sort of content, with writing articles. And I think a big issue that was the reason for that was a lot of people just simply don't read anymore. They consume most of their content through videos or through audiobooks. And I think video production, making videos, uploading them to YouTube is a much more efficient way at reaching people nowadays. And that's sort of why I'm doing this. That's one of the reasons I think this will be a lot more effective in doing so, and spreading my, beliefs and giving my reflections and thoughts on things. And, if there's anybody out there who I can even, just one person, if I can even help change their mind on one issue, I'll be happy with that, and if you're out there and you agree, if you're watching right now and you agree with, some of my beliefs and you still enjoy the content, I'm also very happy about that, and thank you. And, to the other people who don't like my content, so be it, and I'm sure some of them probably wouldn't even, liked it or been willing to hear some of the ideas I put forth anyways, because, some people are just immune to ideas that are, outcasted nowadays, that are, I guess you could say, dissident in a way. But that's really my goal with this channel, and that was also just a little bit about who I am, as I talked about earlier on in the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I am going to have, after this video, I'm going to upload the first episode of a new video series. I think those who watch it, I think you'll like it a lot. I think it'll be pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited for it. So I'll see you guys in that video. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.